Welcome to the Transform with Vance podcast, where transformations begin every day, and I am your host, Vance Hines. So let's get started. All right, this is Vance Hines, and I've got the honor of speaking with the one and only Bryan Tann.
The privilege is all on this side of the screen, man.
Oh man, no way. So Bryan, tell them a little bit. What I've asked the other people to do is just to give a very short synopsis of why they're considered a DDPY success story to get their attention, and then I start walking you back through all your stuff.
All right, sure. Started my journey as heavy as 390 pounds, just a sandwich away from being 400 pounds. Bad knees, bad ankles, bad shoulders, getting to be a bad back. Pre-diabetic, you name it, it was happening or had already happened. Started the program August of 2019, trying to out-train a bad diet, but I was getting stronger, getting more flexible, but I wasn't losing weight. June of 2020, I got serious after a very eventful and fateful conversation. I got serious, and from June 2020 to January 2021, I went from about 380, 385 to 280 pounds. So I lost 100 pounds in 6 months. And then I joined the Positively Unstoppable Challenge January of 2021. And I lost another 70 pounds.
So you're down.
Today, I'm down 170 total pounds.
Damn. And over how long a period?
Oh, man. Let's see. Honestly, for me, I look at it as like a year and a half. Because, yeah, I started August of 2019, but I didn't get serious until June of 2020. So, I'm actually willing to go about a year. 170 pounds in about a year total.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Well, congratulations. If that doesn't get their attention, every one of these stories I talk to is amazing, and it's always, if that doesn't get their attention, I don't know what will. At least keep them listening, so.
I would hope so. I mean, because honestly, if anyone's listening, they're listening because they're either looking for they're looking for positive inspirational change, or looking for a way to make a change for themselves. I'm the guy that, if you wonder if DDP yoga works, you can look at me and see that it does. I mean, they can look at you and see that it does. But I mean, I'm the guy that, when he was a kid, would always try to lose weight. I could eat whatever I wanted, and I was still dropping weight. And then I realized something that all of us learn: once you reach a certain age, it's not that easy to lose weight. So, I got it done. I got it done changing my eating habits and taking on healthy, positive lifestyles.
So how old are you?
I am 42 years young. I will be 43 in May of this year. May of 2022.
All right. And where do you live?
I'm born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That's where I currently live. I've lived in Pittsburgh all of my life except for a decade when I lived in the New England area.
So I assume you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan.
Yeah and no. Not too thrilled with the way things have been going the last few years, but you know what? You support your team in you support your team in the good times and the bad. So, just do what needs to be done with them, and all you can do is just appreciate them. But yeah, for the most, I am a Steelers fan.
What about the baseball, Pittsburgh Pirates?
It's hard to be a fan of them, but I pay attention. The Pirates haven't won a World Series since the year I was born. Like that, the 1979 was the last time that they won a World Series. The last time they won the pennant was the last time that they were really, I remember it was 1990, 91, and 92. They were huge. And then in 2015 they did pretty good, and then they sank back into mediocrity. So, I mean, I appreciate them, but, It is what it is.
So
I love the Penguins though. I love the Penguins. I love hockey. I love the Penguins. I don't know who any of the players are, but I love the sport, so I love paying attention to the Penguins too.
you know what? My favorite thing about hockey, I don't know that much. I mean, I like the contact, but my favorite thing is the way that they substitute in. You know, I wish that all sports would go to that method of substitution. You know,
that would be pretty cool. I would love to see in a football game, someone's like running up the field and the other guy's just running up beside him on the sideline. One guy, as soon as he gets off the sideline, the other guy can just jump out and hit him. I would love to. I'd pay to watch that football game.
That would change a lot of things. If everybody had that style of substitution.
Oh, that would be amazing. Can you imagine if they did that in basketball? Like some guy's in a fast break, he's coming down, and then some other guy just comes out from the baseline, just a swatted shot because one of his teammates just stepped off the court. That would be so cool. That would have people so mad.
I think they can only do it in certain areas next to their bench. I don't know how it works exactly. I've never been a hockey fan. Maybe somebody can tell us. But I
think what it is that someone has to come off before someone can come on. So that's the way. If playing NHL hockey has taught me anything, it's that you can't come on the ice until somebody comes off the ice. So, and that's how it works. It don't really matter when or where. As long as someone comes off the ice, you can jump back on. At least that's how I believe it works. I'd have to ask the wife. She knows that better than I do.
All right. So I guess Pittsburgh's home. There's no argument that.
No. I mean, honestly, I think if the Steelers were doing DDP yoga, there would have been a lot less groin injuries throughout the season. That's for sure.
Well, what do you do for a living?
I wear a few hats actually. I'm my day job is a digital assistant, digital marketing production assistant. Yeah, digital marketing production assistant. I also host 2 podcasts, one of which is a film review podcast called the Plotaholics Podcast. We talk movies weekly. We just finished up, as of this recording, we just finished up our controversial 80s movie January, because every January we do 80s movies exclusively. This month we decided to do controversial 80s films. You can check us out there wherever you get podcasts. Just search the Plotaholics. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/the Plotaholics. I also host a sports talk podcast called the Tandemonium Sports Show. Tuesday evenings Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Twitch TV /Vendetta Sports Media. I also work with Vendetta Sports Media behind the scenes in their doing human resources and helping to mentor intern classes as well. And I am also a certified level 1 DDP yoga instructor. And with that, I am actually also establishing my own business where I'm teaching DDP yoga as well as self-defense. Obviously, the classes are separated, but I'm also a self-defense instructor and DDP yoga instructor. And I'm going for my master's degree, so I wear a lot of hats. It's a good thing I got a big old round head because there's a lot of hats that go on this melon.
Where did you go to school? Where'd you go to, college, high school and college and that kind of thing?
Yeah, let's see. I graduated from high school in 1997, Shenley High School here in Pittsburgh, which it's kind of a sore subject because the city couldn't afford to remove asbestos to keep one of the prize institutions of the city open, but they could sell it off and turn it into apartments that working class people can't afford. So, yay! Glad to see that the education of our youth is not worth it. I earned my undergrad degree at Southern New Hampshire University. I majored in communication with a minor in creative writing. I am also going for my master's degree at Western Governors University. I'm working towards my MBA. And yeah, that's pretty much where my education lies. You know, I'm trying to decide what I want to do with that MBA. Do I want to teach? Do I want to get into human resources? I don't know. But it's just good. It's good to have education, because when you have education, you have opportunities.
That's right. That's right. So now, you said you majored in communications with a minor in creative writing.
Creative writing. Yep. I'm also a published author, so I was writing before I even got my minor in creative writing.
And what? How many books have you published?
At one time, I had as many as 5 books out for purchase. Right now, I'm down to 3. I switched publishers, so the publisher that I'm with now, Random Evolved Media, they're re-releasing my books, and they're sort of staggering them out because I haven't had time to write any new material because I've been going to school. But my area of writing is fiction. I have a sci-fi dystopian series, sci-fi dystopian novel series called the John Baker Chronicles, that is a spin-off of my writing partner Kendra Souter's parent series, The Permutation Archives. Those books are available now at Random Evolved Media if you just go to randomevolved.store. And I also have an urban fantasy novel out. Urban fantasy is just, you know, the genre that vampires and werewolves sort of live in, called The Enforcer. And once again, that book is available at randomevolvedmedia.store. The Enforcer sequel, The Hunted, should be coming out first quarter 2022, so anytime between this week and April.
So tell me, I'm always curious about this on a writing habit. What did you do it like on a? I've heard like James Lee Burke would write a page or an hour in the morning, and then redo it in the evening. And I've heard John Maxwell, write something a little bit every day. I've heard a lot of writers say they've got this. Whether they're doesn't matter, they just have to write something every day to keep that habit and discipline going. Do you follow a similar philosophy?
I'm always coming up with stories in my head, always. Like I said, I haven't really had a chance to write with so much going on, especially with work, with school. Usually what I would do is I would do a lot of my writing in the evening, because with the way my mind works, I would have to do something to get thoughts out so I could go to bed. Otherwise, I would be up tossing and turning because my thoughts wouldn't go away. But, there's a lot of writers. A lot of writers have different levels of the way they do things. Some writers, they'll write a minimum of 1,000 words a day. I know some writers that aren't happy unless they've written, 10,000 words a day. It really depends. For me personally, it depends on the story that I'm trying to tell and how strong my muse is. When I wrote Invincible Heart, the first book in the John Baker Chronicles, I finished that in probably a month and a half from concept, because I had the idea. I had already written the first 3 chapters, but I didn't know what to do with it, so I left it alone. I read Kendra Souter's book, The Harvested, the first book in the Permutation Archive series, and I got a huge wave of inspiration. So when I pitched my idea to her and she said, run with it, I finished the book in a month because I just had that inspiration. Other times it takes a while. I mean, I have another book that I was working on for about a year and a half before I started going for my MBA. And that's because that book is so personal. It's really hard to revisit that mindset. So, I mean, it really all just depends. For me personally, it really all just depends on what I'm working on, where the where the muse is coming from, and really just what I'm feeling.
Now tell me, what do you do as an assistant? Digital. What'd you say? Assistant digital production.
Digital marketing production assistant.
Digital.
Basically, I have an aide in everything digital on the marketing side of things for the company that I work for. I'm doing things from video production to audio production, social media posts, YouTube posts, podcast posts, website updates, literally anything that is on the digital side of the digital marketing end of my company. That's what I deal with.
What kind of company is it?
It's a finance firm. It's a finance firm that specializes in retirement planning and tax preparation.
Now, you've also got your black belt in Kung Fu, correct?
Kenpo.
Yep, and Kempo.
Yep, I'm a first-degree black belt in Kempo under Hanshi Larry Sullivan out of Jaffrey, New Hampshire. I hold the rank of Shodan, which is essentially first-degree black belt. I'm preparing to start the process of earning my second degree as well as my sensei status. So, I mean, I can teach as a black belt, but I'd like the second degree rank with the title awarded to earn the title of sensei.
Now, when you corrected me from karate, from Kung Fu to Kenpo, tell me what's the difference?
Kung Fu and Kempo are two completely different styles of martial arts. Kempo is a form of karate, which is empty hand. It's has its roots. Now, all martial arts have their roots to China. However, Kempo was established primarily, I believe it was more of Japanese into Korea. And the American form of Kempo, I believe it did come from out of Korea and then became Americanized. Some guys like Ed Parker, who Bruce Lee, when Bruce Lee was first putting Jeet Kune Do out there, he did so at a tournament held by Ed Parker. Ed Parker is a Kempo guy. So basically, Kempo is more of a... I guess the best way I can describe it is that Kempo is a lot more flexible of a style than Kung Fu is from my experience. Where with Kempo, my instructor, when he was teaching me and teaching other people, we learned pretty much the same things, but he really sort of catered the fighting style to our style. Where with Kung Fu, it's a set style. You're doing, these different sort of fighting techniques, and they are, it's really sort of, I don't want to say it's rigid, but it's just a little bit less free-flowing for me as Kenpo. Plus, Kenpo has a much different philosophy to it than Kung Fu does. A lot of martial arts, you have your similarities, you have your basis, but it's more, a differences of philosophies and a differences of ways of doing things. I've also found, because I've also studied in my lifetime Taekwondo and Tang Sudo. And me personally, I find that Kempo is a lot more practical for real world self-defense. I'm not down talking anyone else's style. This is just what I see for myself.
I don't even know what Tang Sudo is.
Tang Sudo is another Korean martial art. Taekwondo and Tang Sudo are both Korean martial arts. Basically, long story short, a lot of the times they both do a lot of reliance on kicks and sort of flashy movements and techniques. Like Chuck Norris is a Tang Sudo guy. And you'll see a lot of the Tang Sudo in a lot of sort of a Tang Sudo Taekwondo hybrid in a lot of fighting techniques in films, because it's very flashy. It's very flashy. It's very exciting. But for someone like me who's 5'8" and now 220 pounds, my legs aren't as long as someone that's say 6'2", 6'3". So I'm not gonna look as good throwing, jumping spin kicks and all of that, as even though I've studied Taekwondo, I can throw a jump roundhouse. I can throw those kicks. It just won't look as flashy or as extravagant as if someone who was 5-6 inches taller than me would throw it. Where with Kempo, I'm doing a lot of, my kicks are more practical. My kicks are mostly at the waist and knee. When I throw a block, I'm throwing a strike with the block, and my block is even a strike. So someone was sitting there and they were throwing a roundhouse toward me. I'm gonna come out. I'm gonna hit wrist on wrist, hitting their wrist when I throw the block. Hit it so that they don't want to throw that anymore. And as I'm landing the block, I'm throwing a punch. Where there's some martial arts that are primarily throwing kicks and whatever. Or if you get boxing, you're throwing punches. Muay Thai or kickboxing, you're focusing on elbows and knee strikes or whatever, where Kenpo, I think, is a bit more rounded, where we focus on using the whole body.
How long did it take you to become a black belt in Kempo?
Well, what helped me was that I already had a foundation in Taekwondo and Tang Sudo, so I was able to actually progress a little bit faster. But it took me a couple of years. I think it took me about, I want to say probably about 2-3 years. I want to say 2 or 3 years. But like I said, I had already had a foundation of Taekwondo, Tang Sudo, wrestling, grappling, boxing. So I already had a pretty wide range of expertise. Mm-hmm. It was just learning another style.
Well, how long ago was it that you were awarded the black belt?
That was in 2012. So we're 10 years now. It's been a decade since I've been a black belt. Yeah.
What did you weigh at that point when you got your black belt?
I was about 280.
What did you weigh?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let's see. How old did you tell me you were?
I will be 43 this year. So I was 33 when I got my black belt. I was 288 pounds, 33 years old. And I had some great kicks. I mean, I think I'm getting my kicks back because I had spent so much time not throwing kicks. It's like I'm reteaching my body how to move. But I was able to throw some kicks, man. I could chain a real nice flurry of kicks, and I'm starting to get back to that now.
What'd you weigh when you graduated high school?
I was between 250 and 260 when I graduated high school. I went into high school at 220 pounds. I was 220 going into high school. I left high school at about 250, 260. But I was a brick, man. I was ripped up. I wasn't so much ripped, but I was like really solid. I was bench pressing 250 pounds. I was squatting, 400 or 500 pounds. I was walking everywhere I went. So my legs still are tree trunks, but my legs were just solid and just muscular. But then injuries started catching up to me, slowly but surely. And then as I would get miserable and depressed, weight would just start building back up. But then I just got good at tightening up what I had, but still eating like crap. So I'm putting on weight, but I'm still strong. I still have movement and everything. I still have flexibility. It wasn't until I hit my mid to late 30s, that I really started to lose myself. I really started falling apart. and I started to lose my mobility. I started losing my flexibility, started losing my strength, and I didn't even notice it was happening. I knew I was putting on weight, but I just didn't realize how bad I was getting.
So what was your heaviest weight?
390 pounds was my heaviest weight.
390 pounds. And when was that?
2019 is when and honestly, I had to have gotten a lot closer to 400 pounds leading up to that. I had to have. But yeah, I was about 390 pounds in 2019.
So in 7 pounds, you gained 110 pounds. 7 years. In 7 years, you gained 110 pounds.
Yep.
How had your life changed during this period?
Got divorced. I ended up, and I was in a real dark place during the divorce, and there were a lot of machinations going on to the point where I ended up being separated from my son.
What year did you get divorced?
I want to say it was my divorce was finalized in 2012. So I might be getting I think I might have got my black belt in 2010. I have to look. I have my diploma right there on the other wall, like right in front of me, but everything is written so small I can't see. Might even have been 2009. But I know that my divorce was finalized in 2012. And that's when, like I said, a lot of stuff just started falling apart. I'm using my phone to zoom in on my diploma, see if it will let me. All right, I earned my black belt in 2011. So it was 2011 that I earned my black belt. And I believe my divorce was finalized. I started divorce proceedings later on that year. And then my divorce was finalized in about 2012.
How old was your kid at that point?
2012, my son was 3.
2 years old.
Yep.
Y'all just have one kid?
Yep, I only have one. I have one biological son and one out of that marriage, yes. I have 2 stepsons that are older than him, 22 and 21.
So I guess that one child that was 3, I guess he's 13 now, huh?
Yeah, he just turned 13 last week, actually.
That's a lot of fun. The 13 age.
Yeah, but someone says, oh, well, now you got to deal with the attitude. I'm like, please, the boy already had a smart mouth. It's just, now he's 13. Like, that's literally the only difference. He's my kid, so he's always got a smart remark about something.
Well, I can tell you, there's for the teen years, you become the most ignorant person on the planet,
Yeah, I'm okay with that, because there's a lot of things that he starts talking to me about, and I'm like, Now I know what I told him the one day, I said, now I know what your Grammy went through. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, I remember being at your age, telling my mother, your Grammy, all of this stuff that I was into and blah, 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 blah. And she would just go, okay. But no, he's a great kid. He's very, very imaginative, and he just the one great thing, and I know a lot of folks that have kids, it's like when you see how your kid is just becoming their own human. They take your teachings and they incorporate them, but they're becoming their own person. It's beautiful to see.
Well, it's really crazy. It's years later they'll say that you said something or did something that you'll have no memory of doing it, and you may be doing the opposite at that time, but they're always watching, and they're always listening, and they're always going to pay attention to what their parents do. And I to this day still think back, try to picture my parents at an age similar to different important points in my life, and
Yep.
We try to remember how they handled it, and so it's that never changes. But you'd be surprised because he's watching and listening more than you think he is.
Oh, I'm. It doesn't surprise me. And knowing him, he's looking for a moment. He's looking for aha moments. He's looking to, I gotcha. But it's more just. But I noticed though he's trying to learn. He's trying to understand. And no, I know he's watching and I know he's listening. And I'll tell him stuff. And I know that, and I know he's probably like, yeah, you told me this over and over and over and over. And I think one time he goes, Dad, you've already told me this. And I said, I know, but if I repeat it, it's going to stick.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, no. Well, thank God he's not like I was. See, when I was his age, yeah, people would say stuff to me and it would just go.
Yeah.
At least I think he lets me feel like he's taking everything in. All I can do is say we'll see.
Yeah.
Give it a couple more years.
Has he found his one true love yet?
No. Well, not right now. He loves Legend of Zelda, and he loves reading. So so if I get him books on Legend of Zelda,
yeah,
he's loving it. Matter of fact, he loves books and he loves video games.
So he hadn't got into the girls yet.
No, and I told him keep your mind on your books and off them gals.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I told him, I said, you better not make. I told him, I said, you better not do like your big brother Robbie did. My oldest, me and Sharon's oldest boy. Sharon told him a long time ago. She said, no kids until you're 25. He comes over the house at 19 talking about I broke the one rule. It's like, you lucky I got my hands on your mama's shoulders, boy, because she about to kill you. I tell Brian Jr., I say, I bet not hear that you've done that. He goes, nah, I see what Robbie's going through. I want nothing to do with that. I'm like,
yeah.
Thank God. Oh, thank God.
Sometimes biology trumps knowledge and education, though.
Yeah, that's true. All I can do is just hope that he just makes the right decisions and
reason.
Whatever he does, yeah. But whatever he does, we'll weather the storm. We'll weather the storm together.
That's a great attitude. Great attitude.
Well, I told him, I said, look, no matter what you do, your father will always have your back so long as you ain't doing things nefarious.
You turned down my mic a little, but yeah, man, it sounds like you got your feet planted. Now you're remarried or about to be remarried, or what's the status of that?
We would have been married 3 or 4 times by now if it wasn't for COVID. So we're trying again in April of this year. We're working on it. We're doing our best.
All right. Well, it'll happen.
Yeah, well, I told her this time around, I said, you know what? We'll just go to the Justice of the Peace, do something real quick, and then we'll have the party after the fact.
Yeah, that's right.
But fingers crossed, though, fingers crossed that science can at least find a way for us to start getting back to normal state of life, because, it ain't going nowhere. That's cool. Now let's just see if we can coexist with it.
Yeah,
that's the way I look at it.
It's going to keep changing, too. I mean, it's going to keep doing its thing.
I've decided that COVID is now the underwear of biology, because it's just constantly changing as long as you got as long as you have some sanitized habits. Yeah. Your draws is always changing.
Well, it's definitely changing. I'll go with that.
Yeah, I mean, but the one thing that I will say, that if you want to look for blessings in disguise, I saw a news report that said that they think that they finally have a breakthrough on a vaccine for HIV/AIDS. And I know a lot of that is coming from, the years and years and years of research, but also a lot of the research that they're doing for these COVID vaccines as well. So if nothing else, positive comes from this. It's that's one part of our history as human society that can be sort of contained and controlled a little bit better, so people can have a better quality of life.
So what you're saying is that the research or the science that they used to get the COVID vaccines, that was supposedly new science, it's now been used to come up with an HIV vaccine.
That's a news report. Now, I might have heard it wrong, but apparently I did hear a news report that said that they think they might have found a vaccine for HIV/AIDS, and it's from one of these companies that developed the COVID vaccine. The thing is, and like I said, the HIV vaccine, I'm sure they've been working on that for years and years and years. But, I from what I'm understanding is that with so much that's been going on with, vaccine research and everything, it's, things are sort of bleeding into each other, and they're starting, like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just going by something that I've read and heard somewhere. I can't cite it because I've been hit upside the head so many times. I'll read something. I'll remember I read something. I can't tell you where it is. Actually, you know what? I didn't read it. I heard it on a news report on a radio station. They brought it up. So, I mean, I'll look it up and see and try to get some more information. I don't want people watching this to think that I'm like, oh, well, Bryan knows exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah,
no, Bryan is not a scientist. I'm just saying that I heard the news report. This is what the news report alluded to. So if there's anything positive we can take from this, it's the fact that there could be a vaccine to help with HIV/AIDS. That's
all right. I like it. I always try to look on the positive side. Like that Monty Python songs. I always look on the bright side of life.
What's that one song? Accentuate the positives.
Yeah, that's right.
Eliminate the negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what you got to do, man. That's what you got to do.
Hey, but I can tell you, I was a child of the 70s and 80s. I graduated high school in 83, and I grew up into my teens coming into the late 70s, and it was pretty freewheeling there in the late 70s and early 80s.
So I've heard.
And then AIDS came about. And,
that changed everything.
It changed, man. It just changed the whole dynamic of relationships changed, and it was crazy, and just the fear, sex could kill you after that, and
I was just telling my son something like this. I was telling him how every generation has some sort of big change, like with his generation, it's COVID. The generation before his, it was 9/11.
Yeah.
And, for mine, it was Columbine. And then, for yours, HIV/AIDS.
I've never thought about that as being mine. My generation's big thing. I guess it is, because it damn sure, the 70s and that was back in Saturday Night Fever, and I forget the name of the Western down in Gillies, down in Houston. But it was a lot more, I wasn't around in the 60s, but I understand it got kind of loose in the 60s, and it rolled on into the 70s, but then the early 80s shut it down.
It was like, no, stop it.
Yeah, that was the end of that. But, I can tell you, I thought my one big chance at life was going to be the night it changed from December 31st, 1999 to January the 1st, 2000. I thought, man, this is going to be my, I'm really going to get to see something exciting now. I'm really going to live through history when this happens, and so I got prepped and ready, and not a damn thing happened,
I was ready too. I was ready for lights to shut off, planes to fall out of the sky. I was ready for chaos, and then it's just like, oh, world's still moving.
Yeah, nothing happened. The sun came up, and it was just another day. What ended up happening? Yeah, it was. I seriously think stuff like that was literally just to mess with people. Yeah,
I really do.
It sold a lot of computers.
Though, it really did. It sold a lot of computers, and then the tech industry exploded, even bigger than before. Because you figure video games were getting big in the 80s into the 90s, but then it became huge in the late 90s into the early 2000s. Now we have supercomputers in our pockets that we talk on.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember there was a time, and I was talking to my mother about this, and I was telling her about, we were talking about computers, and she goes, I remember
Urban Cowboy.
There we go.
It took me a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But like databases and computer mainframes took up entire floors of buildings, and they spent money keeping those rooms cold. Because computers would run hot enough and they could cause fires. Now, you have something even more powerful than those mainframes that took up those rooms. In this.
Yeah.
This right here. And it's just amazing how the world has changed in that regard. Where now, our cars are now more computer. Like, they don't need, like, it's all computer stuff in those cars now. So all the skills that were taught, I think I'm probably the last generation that had auto shop and blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff is obsolete now because cars got more computers in them than like other stuff.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, and it's amazing. And cars are now mobile hotspots. Like, I still remember, and I put something on my Facebook, something that kids today will never understand. And someone said, don't get on the internet. I'm waiting on a phone call. I'm like, yeah, I remember that. So it's amazing how, I think what it was is that we thought when the clock struck midnight and we went to the year 2000, we thought at first it was going to be like the Jetsons or the Y2K bug. But it was so slow that by the time it hit, it was just like, oh, this is a thing.
Yeah, nothing
It's
happened.
amazing. Yeah, nothing happened. And what did happen, we didn't even notice.
That's right. All right, man. So tell me a little bit about your life at 390. Tell me a little bit about your physical limitations and how it affected you mentally and work and everything else.
How honest do you want me to get?
You as honest as you want to be. This is your story. And I'll give you a chance afterwards, after you sleep on it, if you want something taken out. I mean, this is supposed to be fun.
What I say is what I say. I don't believe in editing after the fact. What I say is what I say.
Yeah, we're doing this for fun, man. I'm not trying to get you or anything. So whatever.
I'm just double checking because there's a lot of things that come to mind.
Well, hey, I guarantee you that I've already put it out there about myself. I guarantee you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get real personal. I'm one of the things that I've told people in the DDP yoga community is that I am not afraid to get vulnerable with the community, and if it's gonna help someone, I'm happy to do it.
That's the way I feel about it.
Tell you one thing. One of the first things I discovered erectile dysfunction. I prided myself when I was young. I'm a man. Yeah. As I started getting heavier and heavier, it's like, I'm a man. 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 And then it's just like, oh, I was a man. But once I started losing weight, it's like, I'm a man. And the thing is that a lot of, and it really hurt me mentally and it hurt me emotionally because, as men, in a lot of ways, we as men, we pride ourselves on our being virile. We pride ourselves on, on prowess and libido, whether it's healthy or not, whether it's a healthy mindset or not. We pride ourselves on that. And when we can't function, we feel dejected. And it made it difficult dating after my divorce, because I was worried, am I going to be able to do anything? That was one thing. But I mean, eliminate that for a second. I couldn't even wash dishes. Standing up for 5 minutes at a time was torture on my back. Walking a couple of blocks to my office was a trial. Putting on clothes was a trial. Like, I would go to get dressed and I would be caked in sweat as if I ran a marathon. It was bad. It was really bad. Sharon had to tie my shoes for me. It was hard to bring groceries into the house. Showering was not fun because I couldn't reach anything. Like, I was probably another 10, 20 pounds away from washing myself with a rag on a stick.
Well, I was there,
Yeah, so I mean, you understand. Like, I was really just about there. I was practically there.
Well, 400 pounds for me is when I started having those those issues, and it really I don't know, for I'm 5'10", and
so you got about an inch, 2 inches.
Yeah, and but at 400 pounds, I started having those issues, and I couldn't, I had a fear of leaving the house and having to go to the restroom, and I would take,
I was afraid of it too.
I would take 3 or 4 Imodiums in the morning just to keep from making sure I didn't have to go to the restroom while I was away from the house, and away from a shower.
I was terrified that I would sit on the toilet and break it.
Yeah, well, I've done that too. But
I wasn't quite there, but I was close. I know I was close.
They make a thing on Amazon called a bottom buddy, and when somebody told me about that, that changed my life. And it's basically a stick that you put toilet paper on so you can reach your butt, and then. And it's basically like the loofah on a stick for the shower, and
right.
But to carry it, you always had to have a briefcase with you, a immersed with you at all times. It was like a woman having their purse with their reasons.
With their stuff in it. Yeah.
I had to have my damn purse with me with my stuff and carry it to the bathroom with me wherever I went. And, it's tough, but I can tell you, though, that damn bottom buddy freed me from the house because I was, isolating myself up until till I found out about that damn device.
I didn't like leaving the house at all. I still don't like leaving the house, but for a different reason now. But no, man, I was the same way, and then I was always so self-conscious just walking. And there were times I'd be walking, then I'd get the it didn't help that there was times where I was smoking too, but even when I quit smoking, I was gasping for air. And I remember almost getting into a physical altercation with a guy at my job who was the office manager. And every time I sat in chairs, the chairs would break under me after a while. They would start to crack and break. And finally he goes, "Look, we need to get another chair for you because you're too fat to fit in the chair. So what are you, about 400 pounds? And I just looked at him. I said, "Ed, if you don't get out of my face right now." In matter of fact, this chair I'm sitting in now, I bought this chair in the early days of the pandemic because it had a maximum weight limit of 500 pounds.
Yeah.
Now, and it's like when I first got it, my hips were out, up against the arms. Mm-hmm. Now I've got so much space, I kind of feel like I'm sitting in a king's throne.
Feel like a kid sitting in the big chair.
I really do. Because it's like, I can't believe my hips and my behind ever filled this seat.
Well, I mean, I bought one of those, I had to buy everything off big and tall or casual male or DXL, Destination XL, whatever it's called. But I bought a folding chair that's 500-pound rated, and I carried it in the back of my pickup everywhere I went, and so I'd have my own chair.
Oh, wow.
And because I broke a lot of chairs. I broke a chair in front of a jury in the middle of trial one time, just flopped out in the middle of the damn courtroom. Of an old antique chair. So I've broken a lot of chairs, man. Hey, but I want to take you back to that.
Yeah.
There was something. You talked about the libido issue. Two things I think, again, when I'm not a scientist of any sort, imagine, or, whatever. In fact, I think I flunked or made D's in college biology more than once. So, but anyway, I think that the fat, that having that, that morbid obesity lowers your testosterone levels. It starts lowering it down, and then when you start getting that fat off, getting back in shape, your natural testosterone starts building back up. But that's one. But the second thing,
that's one part of it.
Yeah, the second thing that really interests me is I think I heard a TED talk one time on YouTube that said it was a woman. They were talking about how men and women see sex differently, that men find their worth in sex. That's how men feel worthy. And women find their worth in emotional connections. That's how they find their sense of worth. And that made a lot of sense to me because, I really think there is a lot of sense that my worth is wrapped up into sex.
Well, see, I'll take what you said, the first part of it, a little step further. I always took it as, because for me it was the mind was willing but the body was weak. I think that with all of the excess weight, your blood can't reach. Your blood is so busy going to the vital areas that it's like, hey, that's a non-essential area, my friend. Sorry, that's only, hey, look. Is it vital to keep you alive? No, you don't need wood to pee. So as long as you pee, and that's all you need. And I think that's the body's way of sort of, when it's getting too heavy, it sort of shuts it down. So that way, so I think that's a lot of what it was. So, and as far as, I think that there's a lot to be said about men getting our worth from sex, because it almost seems like we're sort of programmed, whether it's in our nature or by society, that if we can't have sexual prowess, we're less than a man. Or is that a societal thing, or is it a form of nature in us having that desire to keep the species going? I'm not sure. That's an interesting discussion to have, but I think it does make a lot of sense though. But there's a lot to it where, man, a lot of guys. I mean, you hear. I still remember the foolish conversations in locker rooms from guys talking about sex, and it's amazing how for years and years and years of a male's life, that sex just dominates our thoughts and our attitudes and our actions. It's insane.
Absolutely. Well, hell, I'm 58 and I 57, and it still dominates my thoughts and actions.
I ain't saying it don't dominate mine neither. I mean, come on now.
Shit. But anyway, I don't know when I'm going to be, when it's not, honestly. But anyway.
I think for males, I think it's just one of those things that it'll always be.
Yeah.
I think it'll just always be that way. It's just how we are as people.
Yeah. All right, man. Let me think. Anything else you told me about the? I think you told me about your problems and your issues. So, tell me what
Mm-hmm.
was the deciding factor that everybody always wants to know is what what was the final straw that broke the camel's back that started you down this path of good health?
So my son came to visit in 2019, and I had gone back into the gym trying to lift weights again. Wasn't losing weight. Well, he was, he was about 10 at the time. Yeah. Yeah, he was 10 at the time. And he was like, I want to exercise with you and blah, blah, blah. So I tried to take him to where we were working out. And they wouldn't let him in because he was too young. So we went to a nearby playground instead. And it was a playground that I used to play at when I was a kid. And we're having a talk and blah, blah, blah. And then he tags me and takes off running. He's like, come get me, Dad. Come get me. Now, you ever see the episode of The Simpsons when Marge becomes a cop?
No.
Basically, so Marge has been getting this desire, like this desire to be, active and blah, blah, blah. So Snake, the villain guy, the main villain guy, he steals Marge's purse. And she's like, he stole my purse. He's getting away. Let's get him. And she's running after him. Homer's like, Marge, no! And he takes 5 running steps and... Well, that was me. But it was 2 running steps. And both of my knees and my ankles cracked and buckled. So I'm trying not to fall to the ground because my knees and ankles are buckling like belts. And I'm like, my 10-year-old son walks up to me, puts his hand on my shoulder and goes, "That's okay, Dad. At least you tried."
At least you tried.
And I'm like, oh. And I was like, that's it. That look of pity and that. I was like, yeah, no more of this. So I knew what DDP yoga was because I'd watched the resurrection of Jake the Snake years prior. And talked to Sharon about it. And she goes, is this something that you're going to do and follow through with? I said, look, I don't have a choice. I got to. Otherwise, I'm going to die. And we hadn't been together that long. She reaches into her purse, hands me her credit card, and says, do what you got to do. So, I did. And my very first workout was actually the Diamond Dozens compilation, and it sucked. And I cried. And then I did Energy 2.0, and it sucked. And I cried. And then I noticed, though, that I was getting stronger. And I was working out, 2-3 times a week. And I was getting stronger. But I was still eating like crap. But I was lifting weights. I was getting stronger. I was lifting and doing DDP yoga. Then we come to January 2020. Right before everything shut down. I'm in the gym. And I'm getting stronger. Like, I'm about to put up 320 pounds. Like, I'm putting up weight. My shoulder just pops. And that was it. Thankfully, it was like I had separated my shoulders so much that literally all Sharon had to do was massage at the joint and pop it back in. So I had to take time away to heal. And then I was just too miserable to do anything else. And then George Floyd was murdered. And I was way too miserable. And then my son came to me and asked me why that had to happen.
How old was he then?
Miserable. It's 2020. He was 11.
So 11.
Yep. So he was 11 years old. And then my mother caught COVID. And I thought she was going to die. And I'm telling you the truth. If Dallas doesn't call me, I'm probably not. I'm probably still. I'm probably over 400 pounds, and I'm probably dead. If I'm not. If I'm not dead, I'm well over 400 pounds, and I'm on my way.
All right. So what? So when was that?
June 2020 was when
June
Dallas called
2020.
me.
So that was the big date.
That was the day.
Now let me ask you this: you're one of the oh shit, you're only the fifth person I've talked to, but I haven't I haven't heard many people who started with DDP yoga first. You know, most people, they start with walking or pull, or and then they find their way to DDP yoga as they progress through their journey. But it sounds like that you went straight to DDP yoga right off the bat. Is that true?
I mean, kinda. I mean, like I said before, I'd been at the gym, I was hitting the bag, lifting weights, but nothing was working. So I quit doing everything else and just embraced DDP yoga. And then I started trying to lift again, and I got hurt. After that, and after the phone call with Dallas, I gave myself over 150% to DDP yoga. 100%. And even to this day, like, I'll never lift weights again. I have no desire to lift weights again. My joints, don't like it, but I don't need to. The dynamic resistance of DDP yoga, and when I'm able to, when I use the jack straps, that's really all I need. I don't need anything else. I don't. I do DDP yoga, and I do bag work and pad work so I can pick back up on my martial arts. But DDP yoga is still my primary. Yeah, I embrace that wholeheartedly, 100%, because I love the fact that DDP yoga was low impact, and I could get a crazy, crazy, crazy workout just by standing still. I love that.
You mentioned that you'd watched the resurrection of Jake the Snake. Is that how you knew about DDP yoga, or had you heard of it before then?
That's how I learned. That's how I learned what DDP yoga was the resurrection of Jake the Snake. I think I might have. I don't remember if I'd ever seen the Arthur video. I don't think I saw the Arthur video until the resurrection of Jake the Snake. But it was the resurrection of Jake the Snake that really kept DDP yoga in my head, because I grew up a huge Jake the Snake fan. He was probably the first heel that I really, really liked, that I was supposed to hate, but I was afraid of him. That's why I liked him, because I just knew there was something different. And then Dallas was the first full-blown heel that I knew I was supposed to hate, but I liked because he was cool.
Well, just so for the people out there that aren't wrestling people, a heel is the bad guy.
Yeah, heel's the bad guy, babyface is the good guy.
Yeah. And you don't switch sides normally, but
no, and it's got to be something real major to get you to switch sides.
Yeah. But see, I learned all this since I got into DDP yoga. I never was a wrestling, WWE, WWC, WCW wrestling fan. I never knew the lingo or any of that stuff.
Oh, man, I grew up a wrestling fanatic, man. My very first wrestling event was WrestleMania 1 back in 85, 84, 85. Yeah, 85, because I was 5 going on 6. So, yeah, it was 1985. That was my very first wrestling show.
Is your son into wrestling?
Yes and no. He loves Dallas. He loves Dallas. I showed him some of Dallas's matches. He thinks they're so cool. He's more into, like, anime and stuff like that. He's an anime kid.
I hear there's a lot of the kids at that age are in anime these days.
Yeah, and it's weird to me because anime didn't start getting big here until I was a kid. Because the earliest days for me of anime that I remember was Voltron, and then Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Now they've got a litany of stuff, and I'm just like, I can't keep up.
My oldest girl's 26, I guess. She was born in 94, 27. Mm-hmm. her and her girlfriend are even into somewhat into anime. It's amazing that the younger generations how much it's taken off.
That's insane. I love it. That's cool. I dig it.
Now, one thing that Dallas called me, and I didn't know who he was when he reached out to me through Twitter, and then we've connected. I didn't know who he was, and then I've since learned. But the first thing he tells you to do is watch that Resurrection of Jake the Snake. That's the very first thing he wants you to do, and so that movie also got me to go to really try DDP yoga, because I felt after watching that movie that I really felt that Dallas really had a heart, and that he was trying to do the right thing to help people, because in that movie they got Jake up in Greenville, which is an hour from me, maybe hour 70 minutes tops, and so when they first pick him up, he's in horrible shape, but I'd have kicked that son of a bitch out of my house 3 or 4 times over before I'd made it through that damn movie. I can tell you that.
There were a couple times where I'm like, wow, you want to talk about having the patience of a saint?
Yeah.
Wow. But I think though that when you have, such a loving relationship as those two have, where they've been through so much, you make a lot of allowances for people, I think, because I know I'm watching that and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I could have been that patient and that understanding.
Well, that's what made me want to try it, was that patience that he showed in that movie. But one thing I've learned now, I've been involved in here since my video went viral with the group, and Dallas, it's amazing how he takes care of the people that took care of family and friends that took care of him along the way. Everybody that's involved in the company were people that helped him along the way in his journey in his life, and it's just amazing the loyalty and
absolutely. Well, because he's a real dude. He's a real person, and he's someone who fame didn't go to his head.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and he genuinely, legit cares about everyone in the community. I mean, this guy. Just to tell you a little story, a little bit of background in it. I don't have a relationship with my father. Probably never will. And one of my uncles brought up something involving him. And I'm like, do I really want to go down this hole? Do I really want to? And I'm like, you know what? If I have to, I will. So I send him a message and I say, hey, listen, I'm just checking in. I check in with him once a week, just, let him know I'm doing okay. And I said, I really appreciate all that you've done and the tools that you've helped me rediscover, because I'm about to do something that is going to be really, really challenging, and I'm really afraid about it. And he goes, wow, what's going on? And I told him, something with my father and blah, blah, blah. And he goes, before you do anything, let's talk and come up with a plan. Now, I'm not going to get too into it. And I'm not even bringing it up to toot his horn. I'm not bringing it up so people can be like, wow, he talks to Dallas. Whoa. No, I'm bringing that up because Dallas cares. That man has a heart that's bigger than Texas.
He's a saint,
Dallas,
man.
He really is. Like, seriously, he should seriously have his name thrown in for sainthood, because he cares so much. All of this, it's not a gimmick. It's not. It all comes from a place of love, and when you're in his presence, and he's talking to you, it's like you feel like he's known you forever. And he cherishes you as a person. And that's not something that you find every day. I mean, and there's no way that this community is here without him. There's no way that I am the man that I am today without his help.
I agree on everything you said. It's, he carries it on his back, the burden of all of us. And, You know, I didn't.
He got some broad shoulders.
Yeah, the only thing I took from your story was that Dallas took enough time to set his schedule aside to work out a game plan to help you, you know, to whatever you were going to do towards your dad. You know, he understood the importance of it and made time to advise you. You know, and I always take his advice. You know, almost everything he's advised me without a T has come true, and I don't listen to his advice sometimes, and it comes back to bite me, you know, and so
when
it's
he tells me something, when he talks to me about something, I listen. I definitely listen. I take his counsel very, very closely, and it means a lot to me because he don't have to do that. I mean, he already got my money. You know, I paid for the app. I'm subscribed to the app.
You're out here talking good about the business to show everything.
Yeah, he don't have to do that, but he does because he cares.
Yeah.
And it's like, and even if he didn't, you know, even if he didn't take that time, it's like, you know what? I'd still be talking up DDP yoga. I mean, I tell folks, you know what? I will preach the gospel of DDP yoga until the day I die. Because I am living proof that DDP yoga works. Mm-hmm. Living, breathing proof. This program has given me so much because I put so much into it.
Well, you've been the beast at it, that's for sure. You know, I've been calling Justin the beast, but I think you're a worthy opponent to the title. Let's get into your DDPY journey. Let's talk about what you did, you know, how it started out, what exercises, that kind of thing, and where you progressed. And you know, and then there was a little bit there. You talked about the time between when you started back in 19 and that call from Dallas. Touch a little bit on, you know, a little bit of what your exercise and food like was there, and then how it changed after that call from Dallas.
I ate like crap, flat out. It was like, I mean, I still remember there was one time I went to Olive Garden, and they were like never-ending breadsticks, and I was like, okay. I mean, I was still eating garbage. I was still ordering pizza and getting pizza and hoagies, and I would have 4 slices of pizza and a half of a hoagie. I was eating so horrible, but I was still doing the workouts, and I was getting stronger. I was getting flexible, but I wasn't losing weight. I still had this big old gut, but I was putting my leg over my head like I used to when I was going for my black belt. It wasn't until and I had people say, wow, you should go dairy free. I love cheese. You should go gluten free. I love bread. Dallas calls me and he's like, what are you eating? And he was like, what do you have for breakfast? I said, my favorite breakfast is grits and eggs and bacon, or grits and eggs and sausage. He goes, yeah, you don't eat that shit anymore. And I'm like, bro, my family's from Alabama. How you gonna tell me I don't eat grits? Like, for real. But he's like, no, that gluten it's bad for you, and that dairy, it's not good for you. And I started going through the list and watching the movies that talk about, you know, what they're putting in our food and how they kill our food and all that. And that just horrified me. So June 2020, after that phone call with Dallas, no lie, I went and I started throwing food away. I threw away $100 worth of groceries. And I got rid of so much stuff because it wasn't good for me. And I started eating healthier. I started weighing my foods. I started weighing my proteins. I started portion controlling. I stopped eating potatoes. Even though my nutritionist at the time was like, well, you can eat red-skinned potatoes. I said, yeah, I don't even want those anymore because I'm going to want another one, or I'm going to want a big brown potato. And it's like, no, I'm not doing that. So I started my meals consisted of protein and vegetables. Every meal was protein and vegetables. Every meal. And then I started changing that up around. At first, I was having 2 whole eggs and 2 egg whites, 3 whole eggs and 1 egg white. And then it was just 4 egg whites. And now when I do eggs, it's 1 whole egg and 3 egg whites. and then I have a couple slices of bacon. And I'll either have coffee, tea, or water. I always drank water, but then I started drinking more water. I was at the point where there was a point in time I was drinking between 80 to 120 ounces of water a day. I'm not going to get into my calorie intake because I remember at one point I answered a question in the DDPY community about my caloric intake. And I had like all these people trying to tell me in the comments and even trying to DM me, trying to tell me I'm wrong, I'm eating wrong, and blah, 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 blah. It's like, look, what I'm doing works for me. So mind your damn business.
Yeah, I mean, that's been that's an issue I think in any
circle,
like,
especially there's a lot of
especially on somebody like us that are making it so public, and putting it out there for everybody, and so everybody wants to tell you how
they think you should do it, how it works for them, and because it works for them, that's the way it's got to be. It's like, no.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's good. I mean, most of them are good. 99% of them's a good intention. They're trying to help you, but but you get a lot of those people that really voicing opinions about what you should eat, what exercises, and that kind of thing. You get kind of you don't want to hurt their feelings, I mean, I don't know. It's no one can question your process. No one can question your results. I think the results speak for themselves. 170 pounds in 18 weeks.
18 months, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, and the thing is, the way I look at it is this, 99% of the people are well-intentioned. It's just the one thing that I think a lot of people, everyone has an opinion. Everyone does. And sometimes people really have to, and I think that it's about finding the balance, and it's about understanding that everyone is going to do things differently. And proof is in the pudding. What I did works for me. And I tell people all the time, don't try to do what I did, because you might not be able to do what I did. You're not going to be able, some people might not be able to be as strict on themselves as I was. And that's okay, because you're you and I'm me. That's why when anyone asks me, someone messages me and they say, I'm so inspired. How did you do this? How did you do this? Let's say the first thing that I want you to do is don't worry about what did you do? How can I emulate you? I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be like you. Take your inspiration, sure, but don't try to strive to be just like me. Be like you. Be your hero. Be your miracle. I'm just happy to have a cameo.
That's right. I mean, what works for one may not work for another, and I always, there was a 12-step, what do you call them, slogans they put on the walls, compare and despair. And somebody told me that, compare and despair, and I always thought that was pretty good. For, 12 steps got a lot of good things in it. I had a hard time turning complete control over everything to someone else to tell me what to eat and stuff. But
it was hard. It was hard, and I especially would feel it whenever I would send Dallas my food in those early days, and he'd go, "Not a good food choice, bro."
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. Yeah. I would feel so bad. And I still remember there was a meme of Dallas with just this disappointed look, and it would say, "DDP is watching you." And it's like, and I took that meme to heart, because anytime he was like, "Yeah, it's not a good food choice," I would feel that. I'm just like, oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's another one that he sees what you're eating or something like that.
Yeah, DDP sees what you're eating. It's like, oh, man, he is. Oh, my God.
It's hard to tell DDP to not take instruction from him. That man is an imposing personality and individual. I can tell you, man.
Very much so. He is a very strong personality, a very, very strong disposition, but it's all out of love.
Absolutely.
It's all out of love.
No,
and I think that that's what makes it stronger.
Well, I mean, if once you get on his radar, it comes with he's more of the tough love variety than the
He'll
gentle,
tell you.
soft.
He'll I don't think there's a gentle bone in that man's body.
No.
But I think a lot of it is because he feels so deeply. He feels so deep that, and that's just what he knows, and it works. He has a way about it that works, because it's not like he yells at you. It's not like he doesn't tear you down. He doesn't make you feel bad. It's almost like I like to label it as, I don't want him to feel disappointed.
Yeah.
And and it's like his tone, his mannerisms, and everything, because it's coming from a good place. And you don't ever want to hurt that place.
I agree. Well, tell us. You said you measured your protein. What? I'm interested in what kind of restrictions you keep your protein grams down to a meal.
5.5 to. I try not to ever go past 6.5 ounces of protein. So I stay at about between 5.5 to 6.5. Certain times, depending on it, I might have 7 ounces, maybe. But and if I do have a high protein day, like if I do happen, then I keep it really uncontrolled during the week so I can get a good reset point.
Do you track your other green veggies?
Yes and no. When it comes to broccoli, Sharon and I split a bag of broccoli. It's always steamed. And if I'm the only one eating it, then I'll just eat the broccoli. And if I'm going to eat the broccoli, then that's when I make sure I'm super strict on how much protein I'm putting in me. But I'm also getting back to, drinking, certain amount of water before I eat. So that way, I'm getting a lot better at being able to push the plate away if I'm full.
How much water do you drink before you eat?
Between about 20 ounces.
So you drink 20 ounces before you start eating?
I try to, yeah.
Well, maybe I need to start doing that. I hadn't been doing that. I know Dallas has told me a lot of times slam water when you're hungry before you eat anything.
Yep.
But I don't know if I've ever took it to doing it just before meals too. I was thinking more to keep from snacking.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't do it as much as I used to, but that's what I try to do. Like I said, I've relaxed myself. I'm nowhere near as strict as I used to be, but all of my clothes are still fitting right, and nothing feels different. So, but I mean, I do try to keep in a particular way. Plus, having my dog too, when it's not, 20 degrees outside, I take her for regular walks, for an hour or so, and that really burns calories. Up until today, when she chewed through my hands-free leash, I would use that so I could jog with her. And, and that really burned that's a good calorie burn.
I saw on your Instagram that you got, your little bulldog you got.
Yeah, Labrador Bull. She's a part Labrador, part Pit Bull, all pain in the butt. She really is.
How much has she got to weigh?
She's 50 pounds. She's about 50 pounds. She's a slender, sleek, muscular dog. Like, you can see the lab in her as well as the Pit Bull. She has the lab body and the Pit Bull head.
That's good. I love bulldogs, man.
I like pits. I love pit bulls. They're one of my favorite breeds of dog. I think that she's a rescue, so she's getting back to really challenging everything. You know, she's still getting used to. They say that, you know, shelter. You know, when you adopt a dog from a shelter, it takes them up to 3 months to really feel fully comfortable and to really sink into who they're gonna be. You know, and I think that, you know, she's still getting used to it. I'm still getting used to her. She's getting used to the family. She's trying to figure out where she fits in.
Well, I know where she fits in. She's gonna rule it.
She working on it. She working on it.
She's got to train y'all. Yeah, you're missing the point. She's in training. She's doing the training.
Yeah, well, I take her to obedience training. We're getting ready. We're going to our 3rd obedience class on Thursday. And it's funny is that she pays attention for like the first half, and then after that she goes, "Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm just done. I'm not doing this anymore."
Oh man, bulldogs are funny dogs.
They really are. Well, like I said, a pit bull is a very, very loving animal. But this one she is so, like, she's going to do what she wants to do. She going to do what she won't do. They were like, oh, you know, pit bulls are a people pleaser. Well, I must have gotten the one that wants to do what the hell she wants to do. Because she was running away, and she was running away from me like, bye. Like, you jerk. But no, she's a sweetheart. And I'll tell you the truth, if it wasn't for me losing all this weight, I would not have felt confident enough to take on that challenge.
Now, you told me, you mentioned clothes still fitting. What size were you at your heaviest?
48 waist pants, depending on the shirt, would be between a 4 and a 6X shirt. Now I can wear as low as 32 waist pants, although my tree trunk legs don't like some of those smaller jeans, so I go between a 32 and a 34. You know, sometimes I like being in a 33. It's not nice in the middle. And as far as shirts, I can wear anywhere between a small and a medium. Larges are too big.
Where did you get your shirts before and your clothes before you lost weight?
Big and tall sections. I used to tell people that I would get my mom to buy a canvas at the Army Navy store and get a canvas tent and knit me a sweater. But no, I would just shop big and tall sections. Big and tall Burlington, big and tall wherever they had them. The only thing that is like shoes, like my mom was like, "Oh, you should lose weight in your feet too." Nope, still wearing a big old shoe. I still got those big old boots. Those ain't going away. But no, now I can actually get clothes in the normal size section people thing.
When was the first time you could go? You know, I just can't tell you how excited I was the first time I could just walk into a store and buy clothes. You know.
You remember that the part in the movie Pretty Woman when she's shopping?
Yeah.
That was me. Oh, I'm coming out like.
Yeah.
I'm striking poses. I'm like.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right.
doing all of that, man. I'm like, I'm the belle of the ball, and can't nobody tell me different.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. It's you know, somebody that spent years having to order their clothes, but you know, basically all you wore was t-shirt. At least for me, all I wore was t-shirts because that's all I could. 6XLT is what I wore most of the time, and but I always had to get the T to cover my belly, and I always had to get them from the, you know, the online store to get 6LT, and I was wearing you got a lot slimmer waist than I got. I was in a what was it, a 58 pants and a 6LT shirt. And then and I got as high as like a 66 or 68, you know, dress coat. So you had to get specialty store.
Yeah,
it's
I
crazy.
think when I did wear a coat, like a sport coat, it was at like a 52, I think it was, or a little higher than that. I can't remember. I just know that I would just get the biggest one I could find, and if it fit, I just got it. I didn't pay attention to sizes.
That's a good.
I
feeling.
still got to get new. I stopped buying, suits and everything because I wanted to make sure I was gonna be where I'm at. Like, and then if I was getting dress clothes, I started just going to Gabriel Brothers or thrift stores. Now I feel like I can actually start getting. I can start going to like the places and getting the suits.
Did you burn the boats?
No, I didn't burn the boats. I still got my big. I still got. Well, what's funny is that a lot of my clothes, I threw a lot of my clothes in I washed them, threw them a lot of them in a garbage bag, and took them to church thrift stores to donate. But as far as the shoes, yeah, I'm always gonna have big old feet. I'm always gonna have big old boots. I bet you I could probably wear Justin Dobbins shoes. I wear a size 15.
Dang.
So
You do have some big old clompers.
I could stomp an anthill to death.
I think you ought to take up river dancing, man. River or tap dancing, maybe tap dancing.
No,
Soft shoe. Take up the old soft shoe.
That's okay. I don't know if my ankles would like it. Although I can't really make fun of my ankles no more because I was jogging in my boots the other day with the dog, and I didn't have any pain. So
that's good.
I think I'm on point.
Yeah, you round in the corner.
Pretty much. My goal for this year, I want to cut another 20 pounds off. I want to try to cut another 20 pounds. So.
What are you, 220? You want to get to 200?
I've been walking around about 220, 225 in that range. So I want to get down to the 200, 205 range.
How long have you maintained 220?
Since July of 2021. Shit. I've been maintaining my weight since then. This is the longest I've ever maintained weight.
You've done something I hadn't been able to do, man. That maintaining, that's crazy. That's more discipline to me. That's more. I mean, that's more impressive to me on the discipline side than the losing. I can lose it, but it's eventually I slip up and start eating again.
Yeah, I'm trying really hard to stay away from that. With like I don't let certain things come into the house. If I am gonna have like treats, they're gluten-free and dairy-free. I try to do it in moderation. I try to be very, very careful with it. I'm very, very, very... I try to be very hyper-vigilant. Very hyper-vigilant. Because I'm terrified of falling back into old habits. I'm terrified of it. Like, it wakes me... Sometimes it still, every so often, will wake me up at night.
Well, I can... I recommend you burn the boats because I did, and I donated all my clothes, and I got in the situation. I'm heavier now than I've been since I've lost the weight, and I got out of my clothes. I went up to JCPenney and bought the final clearance stuff, whatever I could get, just to. I'm wearing these because I had these to give away, these bigger shirts, and
I've given away. I've gotten rid of some of the real big stuff. I still kept a couple of larges and extra larges here and there, just for comfy stuff to wear in the wintertime.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it though too, like some of the shirts are just shirts that I really, really like. And it's like, well, once I find one in a medium, then I'm getting rid of it.
Yeah.
But for the most, a lot of those old clothes have been gone. I have just a few left.
Then it's a hell of incentive. Nudity makes a hell of an incentive. I can tell you. So
absolutely.
Hey, you mind if we take a quick break? Let me run to the restroom.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
I'm just going to leave it running because I don't know how to pause it yet or anything. I'm going to leave it running and go run to the restroom. Yeah, sure. I'll be right back. Hold on.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Bryan Tann knows what the fuck he's talking about.
It's Bryan Tann, and I'm here with another Tan Talks. We're talking the Snyder Cut.
Go check out fucking the applaud the fucking holics, man, because they're the best in the business, and they know what they're fucking doing. So smash and subscribe and do this fucking shit. Break it down. Give it the fucking like. Smash that fucking like button.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Alright, you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Test. Alright.
Yep, I'm here. Sorry, I
Alright,
got
dude.
some messages in while we were talking, so I just double checking those. Folks just love talking to me.
Yeah, that's good. Man, a lot of... Well, hell, let's get this on. All right, I'm going to clap again. So, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, we're back. I had to relieve my 57-year-old bladder. So we're back on. We were talking about your clothes and stuff. Tell me, I always ask this of people because it was such a big. It's been such a big part of my journey. Is the social media aspect and the pub, putting everything online. What are your thoughts and how has that been in your journey?
I don't think my experience has been as difficult as some people's may be. I'm also very thankful that I'm a male because, Lord, God bless women on social media. Because there are some creeps and weirdos out there. Candy told me, just like some gross pickup line some dude said to her, and I'm just like, man, I'm so glad I don't have to put up with any of that. But it's challenging because you don't know if you're gonna elicit trolls. I have elicited some trolls. I have gotten some trolls. But, the one thing that I told myself is that you're not doing this for them. You're doing this for the next you. And so sometimes, you got to be brave, but you also have to put on the thick skin and you have to put on the brave face because you never know what's going to come about. Chronicling my journey on social media has gotten a little bit easier, but it's also gotten more overwhelming because it feels like not so much that people expect more, but I expect more of me. Like right now, I'm kind of taking a small break from social media. I'm still doing things. I'm just not posting as much because I just feel like I put so much time and energy and effort. I need a break. But I'm proud of everything that I've done. I'm proud of all the chronicling that I've done because, when I see people message me or they comment, you've inspired me so much. And when you're being so real, it really helps me. It makes me feel so good. It feels good to know that I've helped people. So for as frustrating as social media can be with the trolls and all of that, it's so rewarding when someone says, you've inspired me. It means a lot.
Now, so tell me, you talked about chronicling your life. Now, you participated in the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Challenge, correct?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And tell the people how that experience was, and tell them about the contest, and about what you were able to achieve, but also this is time for them to sign up for the 2022 version too.
Sign up for the 2022 Positively Unstoppable Challenge. Go to positivelyunstoppable.com where you can sign up today. It's going now. You can sign up. I signed up for the challenge not for notoriety, not for money, not for clout, I wanted to challenge myself to be the best me that I could be. I entered the challenge because I just wanted to show myself that I could do something. I lost 100 pounds. That was great. I was proud of that. I knew I could do more. I knew I could do better. So I wanted to take it to the next level. That's why I entered into the challenge. And I really had to dig down deep. Dallas told me when I told him I was going to enter the challenge, he goes, well, listen, I can't help you. You're going to have to do this yourself. You're on your own now. And I looked and I was like, I got this. I can do this. And it's kind of like how we were talking about with kids. All you can do is teach them and hope that what you've taught them, they can take it into their lives. I took what Dallas taught me in those 6 months and I just ran with it. And I lost an additional 70 pounds.
In 6 months.
In 6 months.
So when you joined the 2021, when you signed up for the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Challenge, you had already lost 100 pounds.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
And so that means that you weighed 290.
Yeah, I was about 280, 290. I was in that range.
And now tell them what you did. How did you chronicle it, post it? What did you do during the competition?
I did pretty much what I had been doing previously. I would post a post-workout video. I would post what my workout was. I would screenshot my numbers from the app. And I would upload my videos to YouTube unlisted. I put those videos in a folder. And I turned that folder into Steve U and the people at DDP Yoga when they asked for it. But my social media chronicling was pretty much the same as it had been. I just picked it up. I did one post a day. And then I would do other stuff as well. I did little stuff here and there as well, and I stayed active in the community.
And what's the community?
The DDP Yoga Facebook group, all one word, DDP Yoga, about 70,000 strong now. I also joined the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Challenge Facebook group, which now there's a 2022 Positively Unstoppable Challenge Facebook group. And I posted all of my posts in the DDP Yoga group, in the Positively Unstoppable Challenge group, my own personal social media, so Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and there were a lot of other DDP Yoga groups that I posted in, other people's groups. I posted in your group a lot of the time. But a lot of my posts primarily were in the Positively Unstoppable Challenge group, as well as the DDP Yoga community group, and on my personal Facebook. And I just did everything I could to get myself out there to as many people as possible, because I was coming to a point where I was just so happy that I was doing something I wanted to share with everybody. I wanted people to see my progress. I wanted to show people, look, I've hid for so long. I'm not hiding anymore. And I wanted people to see, this is where this guy started. This is where this guy is at. Oh crap, this is where this guy's at. Whoa, is that the same? I actually had I had to show them my driver's license to prove to them that I was me.
On that note, I haven't changed my driver's license.
I haven't either.
My driver's license still's got a 475-pound picture of it.
Mine still has my 390-pound picture on it. I just haven't changed it because I have to change it next year, so I might as well just wait.
Well, I'm still, in Texas. So far I've been able to just do it by mail, and I'd rather do that than go in there and sit through the DMV process. So I just keep it.
Well, see, I go to a AAA. I go to AAA and do mine, but they've got the little DMV spot in there. But I still have my old driver's license. They were like, "That's not you. That's a Photoshop picture. That's a Photoshop picture." So I show her my driver's license. She goes, "Holy shit, that is you." I know.
Yeah.
I ain't got time to lie. But it's stuff like that that's kind of funny to me. Like, I love when people that haven't seen me for a while, they see me, they're like, "Holy shit!" And I'm like, "I know, look at me, I got a neck. See that? It's a whole neck.
Yeah.
Look at my clothes. You can see my body. Look at me."
It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. It's amazing because it's like, wow, I went from necklace to... It's amazing. I can do this now.
Hey, so how much does it cost to get to join the Positively Unstoppable Challenge?
0. It costs nothing. All you got to do is sign up. That's literally all you got to do. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. It does cost something. It costs hard work. You got to work. You got to work. You got to work. You got to work. And I tell people all the time, you're worth it. It ain't easy, but you're worth it. Those are 3 little words that I live by. You're worth it. But no, man, that's literally the only cost. It's hard work. And you get so much out of it. When you put hard work in, you get so much out of it. You know what I got out of it? I got family. I got a family. 2021 was the first time in a long time that I didn't have holiday blues. Because I got brothers and sisters that love me and were checking in with me. And when I have bad days, they check in with me. When times are going hard, they check in with me. When good things are coming, we celebrate together. When bad times come, we stand together. That's what you get. And if you really, really, really put in the work and you're able to separate yourself, you'll probably get an all-expenses-paid trip to Atlanta, GA. Get to work out with the man himself. There's so much beautiful good that you get from this. So I don't understand why more people don't do it.
Now this put it on YouTube. So you uploaded all your videos into YouTube.
All my videos. But now they're unlisted. They're unlisted.
Yeah, that's
videos,
what I was going to get you to tell them what that means.
In other words, nobody can watch those videos unless you give them the link to them. And then I put them in a folder, so they're their own playlist. And the playlist is unlisted, which means that nobody can just stumble on it unless you give them the link. That's what that means. You can either set it to private or you can set it to unlisted. And that's what I did. Because, look, man, YouTube is even worse than Facebook and Twitter when it comes to these anonymous trolls.
YouTube's bad. I think Twitter's the worst.
Twitter is not great. I mean, Twitter... I've done a really good job in getting myself out of the negative Twitterverse. I think I've done a good job at it. Yeah. But it's hard, man. It's hard. It's really hard. But, yeah, that's pretty much what I did, and it's amazing looking back at those videos and seeing what I looked like before and where my mindset was. I remember I would sit in chairs and my stomach was just hanging and I'm like covering or I'm just like this and it's weird how over time it's just bing. It's weird. It's really weird. And I think I'm gonna keep those videos there for forever and for always.
Well, yeah.
Because I want to be able to look back, and I want people to always be able to look at those, because I want them to be like, look, man, if he can do it, I can do it. I mean, that's what I did with your stuff. Vance can do it, I can do it. Hell, there were times that I was sort of playfully competing with you with your weigh-ins. And I took a lot of what you were doing and made it my own. Matter of fact, you and Justin Dobbins were the two people that Dallas said, contact these guys if you need help. Or if you just need someone to talk. And there was a time you and I were sending our foods to each other. And, of course, I had to stop because I started doing a juice fast. And you're sending me your food. I'm like, oh, stop. You're killing me. The one day that almost broke me because, you know, you're in Texas and my family's from Alabama. We Southerners, we love our barbecue. And you sent me something of barbecue, and I'm like, damn it! I can't eat solid food!
So tell me about the juice fast. You did, how long did you do that, and how was that?
30 days. 30 days. Nothing but juice. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did nothing but juice and Orgain, plant-based protein with almond milk. That was all I did. It sucked. I will never do that again. Ever. Like, well, I can't say never. I can't do it the way that I did, though, because I tried to do it again over the summer, and I almost passed out walking down the stairs. So I was like, yeah, can't do that no more because my body is different. I'm burning calories now when, like, doing nothing. My body is a calorie burning machine now. But nah, man, I did that for 30 days. I did it for 30 days. Breakfast was a juice that I got off the DDP Yoga app where, you know, Dallas has his recipes there. I would have a juice for breakfast, a juice for lunch, a Orgain for a snack, and then a juice for dinner. And I did that every day for 30 days straight. Week 1, I was a miserable, cranky bastard. Week 2, I was fine. Week 3, I was okay. Week 4, I was a miserable, angry, cranky bastard. I made week 1 me look like a teddy bear. And then I had barbecue for my first meal, my first physical meal. And it tasted so scrumptious. It was so great. But then I noticed something. That made my mindset so much stronger because I had to make myself stick to it. So now it's like, yeah, if I say I'm gonna do something, I do it, and you ain't nothing gonna shake me. Nothing shakes me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, did you go through like starving weak moments?
Yeah, it was hard. Like well. What it was if I didn't consume at a regular time, I got weak. I remember there was an instance where Sharon and I were out shopping, and I hadn't had an Orgain in between after my lunch. I'd usually have an Orgain about 2 hours after lunch to be between breakfast and dinner. I mean, between lunch and dinner. I missed my Orgain. And I fainted in the store.
What week of the fast was that?
Either week 2 or week 3.
So
I think it was
either
either
first.
2. No, it wasn't at the first because I wasn't really going anywhere. I didn't trust myself to go anywhere. Because if I got hungry, it was like, well, we're going to stop and get something to eat. If I stayed home, because I had the opportunity to work from home. I've been working from home since COVID started. Mm-hmm. So I had nothing but freedom to just stay home. And it's like, well, if I go somewhere and I'm hungry, I'm going to stop and get something to eat. So I'm staying home. That's the one thing, man. You want to talk about another positive of COVID. I don't know if I could have lost the weight if the world hadn't stopped. Because I didn't have anything to tempt me. I got rid of everything in the house that was a temptation. I got rid of all of it. And I wasn't going anywhere where there would be temptation. Where now I go places and I'm not tempted by nothing. Like last night I was coming home and I was like, crap, none of these other places are open that I can get something to eat. And I was like, glad that McDonald's is closed. Not like I'd be going there anyway, because F McDonald's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's my biggest problems. I'm kind of like you when I'm at home, and I can get into a routine, and and eat at the same times, eat the same food. I'm not hungry, don't have the unexpected hungers, and you get that control is what makes it a lot easier to lose weight. But when I go on trips, camping trips, or go somewhere, when I go out, and then you throw in all of those other different problems and triggers into the equations. That's when that's my hardest part is dealing with life outside the house.
I hear you. And for me, it's just I started making a real strong point to establish boundaries with people. Quit offering me food. Stop it. I can't eat that. Stop. Some people actually got mad at him. Some folks actually had to like in the early days with my mother, I'd say, no, I cannot eat that. No, I cannot cheat. Because if I cheat, I'm going to fail. No. Stop it. And then I got to a point where, I can. There used to be a time where I drive by McDonald's and just stop. Now I look at McDonald's with disgust. Last time I ate McDonald's, I threw it up 10 minutes after I ate it. And I think that was even before I got super serious. Now, if I go somewhere and I'm really hungry, I know places that I can go to get things. Like, if there's a Chili's nearby, I know I can go there and get an order of tortilla chips because they're corn chips, not flour chips. I can munch on those, even though I'm starting to dislike them because of the grease. But, or let's just say if I'm driving somewhere and crap, I really need some food, but where can I eat? All right, you know what? I can run to Applebee's because they have a 6-ounce steak that I can just get and go. Or I can go to a Denny's because Denny's chips are corn chips. I can get those and just go. So, or hey, if there's an Aldi's nearby, if there's an Aldi nearby, I can go there because they have some gluten-free chips there. I can just grab those if I have to. It's also just about knowing where you can go if you are out and about and you get that hunger.
Preparation, it's forethought and preparation, because it's when you make the worst choices when you're standing there hungry and you don't have it all thought out.
Exactly. I mean, I'm coming to a point now where we're going to start buying snacks to keep in the car because if I don't eat on the regular, I'll start to get weak because my body is burning calories like crazy all the time.
Yeah.
And it's all about being able to prepare and to know, it's listening to your body and getting to know your body and establishing that routine.
So how much weight did you lose during that month of juicing? And this was right at the end of your 170.
Right,
this was the last thing of the contest, right?
Just about. I think that it was only a couple of days. It was a couple of days. I think I lost an extra 25. No, it was more than 25 pounds. Actually, I think it was closer to 30 some odd pounds because I think at one point I was at like 250. So I think it was close to like 30 pounds because I ended up weighing in. When I weighed in, that final weigh-in, I was 218 pounds.
218. You beat me. My lowest mark's 219.
Wow. Yes. And that's actually, and like I said, every time you would weigh in, I was like, I got to beat Vance. I got to beat Vance. I got to beat Vance. So, but yeah, man. And then, so I think I cut down like another 30 some odd pounds. And then when I tried to do it again, like about 2 months later, my body's like, nope. You're not the same guy.
You've kept it off.
And I've kept it off. And I've kept it off.
That's impressive to me, man.
I do a workout every day, even though I don't realize. Like today, I was doing some stuff with breaking up ice at my mother's house. I'm doing workouts and stuff every day. I'm doing little things every day. I'm maintaining every day.
So what? So tell me how your DDP yoga workout schedule changed over the weight loss journey.
At one point, I was doing 2 to 3 workouts a day, and then I got to a point. I mean, do 2 to 3 workouts a week, and then when I was at my worst, I was doing maybe 1 workout a week. After talking to Dallas, I started going back to doing 2 to 3 workouts a week, and then I started doing 3 to 5 workouts a week, and then 6 workouts a week. There was actually a 3 month period where I worked out every single day. And then there were points that I was doing 2 workouts a day. I would do a workout in the morning and a workout in the afternoon. Then I started doing a workout in the afternoon and a workout in the evening. So yeah, and now I'll still do certain days. I'll do a DDP yoga workout. Another day I'll do a bag workout. Sometimes I'll do a DDP yoga workout in the afternoon, and then I'll do a bag workout in the evening, depending on how I'm feeling and what the mood I'm in.
So what? About how many days a week do you do DDP yoga now?
3 to 5.
3 to 5. And about
3
how?
to 5 days a week.
About how long is a typical DDP yoga program?
Anywhere between 30 and 45 minutes. I haven't really had enough time to do like the real long workouts, but anywhere between 35 and 40 minutes. And keep in mind too, I also teach a couple of days a week as well, and those workouts are anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour.
Now you've got your level 1 certifications. You beat me to that too. You beat me to a lot of things, and so that's pretty cool. Congratulations, man.
Thank you. Well, I used you as inspiration, and I just kept running forward.
That's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. And I set up to. I also enrolled for my level 2 as well.
You're going right on in.
Yeah, I mean, DDP yoga is my life now.
Yeah.
And this is what I want to do with my life. My main goal is to really help my community, because part of the reason why I was hesitant to do DDP yoga in the first place before was because my mindset was yoga's for rich people.
Yeah.
Yoga's for people that have money. Yoga's not poor people like me. Now I want to bring DDP yoga into the inner cities, because folks got to know you're worth it and you can do this.
No, I think that's awesome, man. I mean, because that's one thing that Dallas has been able to do with the program that no one else I know of has been able to do. Yoga I think was a predominantly female oriented
White
sport.
female.
Yeah,
Predominantly white female. Yeah.
And and DDP has taken it and turned it into a workout program that appeals to both men and women. And men, I'd say it's at least as many men. I'd say it's probably a little more men than women in DDP's program. Would be my guess. I don't know. I had never heard any of those stats.
If there aren't more men, it's a lot closer of a ratio than I think yoga has ever had.
Yeah, he's done.
Because it's like anybody can do it.
No yoga person's ever been able to do. And what you're talking about doing is taking it to a whole different demographic as well.
Yeah, because and the one thing that I've told a lot of people is that people in the inner city, we've been lied to about health and nutrition for generations upon generations, and it's time to stop. It's time to take back our lives. It's time for everyone to take back their lives, but it's time to make a difference. And I think that if that's something that I can do for someone, then that's what I'm gonna do.
I think that's awesome, man. And there was some people out there taking them to teaching it at the retirement centers to the older generation,
Yeah, well, you know what? My Monday clients are in a retirement community.
Really?
And my Saturday clients are both special needs. One gentleman had suffered a massive head injury, and he's legally blind, and his roommate was also in a very bad car accident. But they worked their asses off, boy. I tell you, They
That's
always
cool.
work their asses off.
That's the greatest thing about this program is that it's available to everyone. I mean, as bed flex exercise. If you can't get out of bed, there's exercises for you. You know.
Oh, I took full advantage of the chair workouts when I had to get surgery on my foot the first month of the challenge.
Yeah.
Because they told me I wouldn't be able to stand up and work out. So I took it to the chair. Thank God for Aaronitra Chandler, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And going into that chair was probably the biggest blessing, because I did not understand dynamic resistance then. But oh, I get it now.
Yeah. It really, trying to flex every muscle in your body,
I do it just sitting. Like right now, I'm doing it now. Just sitting here. And it's like, I know how to do it. My body just, as soon as I think it, my body responds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing how you can change and maintain that change if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, hey, shit, if I can do it, anybody can do it,
If I can do it, anybody can do it. If we can do it, anybody can
absolutely. Do it. Shit, I was just an old fat drunk, for years and years.
I was just a fat malcontent.
Yeah.
Just a fat, angry malcontent.
So, yeah, I mean, shit, if I can do it, anybody can do it, that's for sure. All right, man.
Absolutely.
Where do we go from here? What's the future look like for Bryan Tann?
It's so bright, I gotta wear shades. No, I'm going for my level 2. I'm going for my L2. I have to actually start paying the lawyers because I got my business set up called Infinity Academy LLC, where I'll be teaching DDP yoga as well as teaching self-defense. Gonna get my MBA and just keep moving forward, looking for the next challenges, man. Looking for the next challenges. I don't want to be stagnant ever again. Never again.
How did you come up with the name Infinity?
Well, a couple of different ways. Number one, I tell people that I want to be the infinity version of me. It's sort of a running gag also between me and my son, where you go, I love you from here to there. I love you from from the dirt to the sun and back. I love you all across the universe. I love you Goku's power level. I love you infinity. I love you infinity times 2, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Plus, that's also the name of my lodge. So I decided to name it Infinity Academy based on basically just being the best part of myself.
What lodge are you talking about?
I am a Master Mason. I'm a Master Mason.
I didn't know that. No, I guess I wouldn't know that unless you're in the group.
Well, the thing is that obviously it's not something that's secret.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I go and tell. Oh, hey, by the way, I'm a Freemason. Hey, did I tell you I'm a Freemason? Oh, hey, guys! Freemason. No, I don't do all that. It's just, it's no different than someone being an elk or, whatever. So, and plus, I love the infinity. I love that infinity look. I love it because it's just never ending. And my change is never ending. It's never going to end. This is who I am now.
There's some conspiracy theories out there against the Freemasons. I'm sure you hear them all the time.
Yep, and I just ignore them because it's just all based on stuff that people don't know what they're talking about.
Well, I mean that's kind of what I learned from. When I started out working for the local county for the government. They call it local government. I was prosecuting tickets and doing things like that, JP, the low-level baby lawyer stuff, and then I worked up and I got to where I was doing the civil stuff for the county, and then and I was advising the commissioner's court, and so the commissioner's court is kind of the governing body of the county, and so I would see what happens in court, and then I would read the papers or the news articles or the social media accounts, and you know, all these conspiracy theories that it's like there's a kernel of truth there that's just blown completely out of proportion. It doesn't have anything to do with reality or anything that what happened.
And so many of those things, that's all they are. I mean, I saw someone post something that says, "Oh, well, this, that, blah, 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 blah." It's like, yeah, just okay, whatever. You know, bottom line is that, like, because I heard someone say, "Oh, well, Freemasons believe in devil worship." Pretty sure I'm not a Satan worshiper. I'm pretty sure I'd know if I were a Satan worshiper. And even if I were, what business is it of yours? I mean, really, at the end of the day, there's a lot of people I really think that they would be much better suited if they don't know to just stop.
Well,
keeping your mouth shut don't cost nothing.
I think if I were part of the group of Shriners, that's a Freemason, right?
Yeah.
That's the partying group. I think I'd be in the Shriners. That's kind of the partying group. That's the ones that ride the motorcycle, the mini bikes, and wear the funny hats, you know.
I'll tell you what, the funny thing is, what a lot of people don't realize is that Freemasonry is really, really involved in our society in many, 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 many positive ways. I mean, I'm not really going to get super into. I'm still new to it, but there's a lot of positives that are done. People don't realize it. And I mean, I got into it looking for enlightenment, looking to do better and be better. So
and I won't push you any more on that. I know part of the code is you know, the specifics. The way I understand it is that you are a Freemason, and you know, and your deeds are not secretive, but the rituals and what y'all do in the temple and that kind of thing has been passed down through the oral tradition, and those things are secrets. Because I had talked about joining at one point, and had people approach me. You know, as soon as you say you're thinking about it, then you know, people, they come to you and they start talking to you about it. But I never did go through with it, and so you know, I know a little bit about it, but so I won't press you on.
I mean, I can't talk about anything that we do in lodge, but no, my deeds are not secret, and I even if I weren't a Mason, I walk with my shoulders back, my head held high, because look, I like to think of myself as a good person. I try to love everyone. I try to be there for everyone, and I try to do the right thing. I try to speak with intelligence, but also to be a little bit entertaining as well. And I just try to overall be a good person. That's what I do. And I just happen to also be a Master Mason.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, let's see. What else do we need to talk about? We've touched on where you're going, what you've done, where you've been. Anything, well, you know, what advice could you give to people who are starting out on their journey, just starting out, and they're still in that dark place, and they're looking for a way out? What advice do you give to those people?
It ain't easy, but you're worth it. Don't be afraid to establish boundaries and stand up for yourself. Because the one thing you're going to realize is that as you start to feel better and you start to lose weight, even while you're going through the process, you're going to have people that are going to be naysayers. They're going to poo-poo on you. They're going to try to trip you up. You don't have to put up with that shit. You don't. Your weight loss journey ain't about them. It's about you and what you're doing for you. And
sound like the dog's in the house.
Yeah, she's been acting a butthole lately. I think she's trying to get at the cats. She's trying to get at the cats, and she loves just charging in there. I'm wondering why she ain't eating her food, because she knocks down the baby gate to their room to eat their food, and then I'm wondering why she ain't eating her food. But no, you don't have to put up with anybody's crap. You don't.
Yeah.
You're worth it. This is your journey. You're worth it. And I'll keep telling you, you're worth it. You don't have to put up with anybody's crap. You do not have to let yourself be put down. You're worth it. You're going to probably be cutting people out of your life. And that's okay. Because you're worth it. If there is someone that is not being conducive to your weight loss goals, if they're putting you down, if they're making you feel a kind of way that isn't good for you, they're not worth having around. And I don't care who they are. Stand up for yourself because you're worth it.
Now, I have been remiss and negligent in my job responsibilities. Whatever happened to the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Challenge?
I won. I'm the grand champion. I was named the grand champion. And I'll tell you the truth. My words to Dallas when he said it were, "You're effing with me. Quit effing with me. Don't mess with me." And he goes, "Yeah, you're right. I'm messing with you." I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds about right." No, I'm serious. What? Oh my God. But much more than that, like I said, I gained a family. Maria, Stephanie, Brian Gray, Pat Sims, Jeremy Landry, and their spouses. We became a family. Candy even, we're a family. They like I said, we check in with each other. We look after each other. I won more from that. I won more being in that challenge. And I've always said, Bryan don't win at things. Bryan don't win at things. Bryan won a lot. Bryan won a lot. I just happened to get a groovy belt out of the deal.
Yeah, you have it there with you?
Yeah, it's here in the other room. I'm actually getting ready to mount it on the wall in my workout space. I was either going to mount it in here in my office or mount it in my workout space because so I'm still really deciding on that.
Go get it. Go get it. Show it to him.
Hold on. All right, give me a second. Give me a second now. Right. Oh, Lordy.
I almost forgot to ask him.
Here we go.
There it is. Bryan Tann.
Bryan Tann.
You got the
Grand
hands.
champion. That's right.
Diamond cutter. Positively unstoppable. Now,
That's right. And
Maria showed me.
The one thing that I really love, if you look at the back here, the Team Relentless. That's what we call ourselves, Team Relentless. We got that on there as well. And as a matter of fact, don't worry, I'm not strip teasing.
You got the Team Relentless tattoo.
That's right. That's right.
I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, I just got that a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, man, that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, so, yeah, man, I've gained a lot. I've lost 170 pounds, and I gained so much more.
So tell me who else. Tell me a little bit about the other stories on Team Relentless. You named them real quick, but you didn't talk much about them.
Yeah, Maria Bakaler, she was one of the champions, and she and I lost almost the same amount of weight, and she's teaching kids. She's an assistant principal. She's teaching kids, and she's showing these kids. Those kids got to go on her journey with her. They got to see that anything's possible. I mean, Stephanie Kelly, another one of the champions. She so much positivity and just like bright light and joy out of her. And, her kid got to see her journey and how, her kid now sees that anything is possible. Brian Gray, who's only about 4 hours away, he's celebrating the Cincinnati Bengals going to the Super Bowl for the first time in over 30 years. But
Has
you know,
it been
his
that long?
kids, yeah, they have not gone since like 1990, I think.
Well, since
But,
the Icky
his-
Shuffle, they hadn't been there since
Yeah,
the
Icky
Shuffle.
Woods, yeah, Sister Icky Shuffle, yeah, and Boomer Esiason. But and you know, his kids got to see him change his life and own it. Jeremy Landry, who, man, that guy's story is so amazing. You know, clean and sober and just living life, living large, doing amazing. And then Pat Sims, I mean, and can't say enough about, you know, my Team Relentless family, man. I just can't. Like, they're so amazing. Some of the most wonderful people. And I love them all dearly, man. We there's a picture of us doing a human pyramid, and it's so fitting. You know, we hold each other up. We take care of each other. We are each other's rock. We're there for each other.
So all
it's a beautiful
six, all 6 of the champions of 2021 received a belt, correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yep.
'Cause
We all
I've
got
seen
a belt.
Maria. Maria was my very first person because she came down and to work out with Mary and I wasn't even, you know, I knew I wanted to get the podcast going again, but I wasn't even like ready. And I said, well, shit, I can't miss this opportunity. So I said, you got to stick around and let me try to record you. So she's the only in-person one so far and very first one to come down. So but she's a beast. Hell, she was doing. I got pictures of her doing Black Crow and doing the Bird of Paradise. Do you know which one the Bird of Paradise is?
No, I'm not.
You know
aware.
if you squat down and you know Black Crow, but
Yeah.
but the Bird of Paradise is like you squat drop all the way down into catcher, and you reach through between your legs, and you reach one arm behind your back, and you grip your hands between your legs. It's wrap and burn between the legs.
I can do that. I can do that.
But the Bird of Paradise part is then you stand up on your back leg.
I can't do that.
And
I can't do that.
take the leg that you wrapped and burned and bring it straight up. You know,
Oh,
So you
yeah,
see-
I don't think I've done that one. I haven't done that one.
that's
yet.
the Bird
Not
of
yet.
Paradise.
Not yet, but I will.
You will, yeah.
I will.
To be
I
able
will.
to balance and then, you know, pull your leg up into a split.
Dude, Maria is rugged, dude. Maria, and she does that with like her knees off and on, acting out. Dude, Maria's a beast, man. She's a beast master.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to her. I encourage you to check out her podcast. She's #1, and she came down, and it's live. And we had the audio's not quite as good because I just did a hand. You know, my audio was not as good on that, but it's very good podcast. Check out Maria. I still want to get the other 6 of the other 4. I still lack 4 of Team Relentless. So what do you win if you win, or you're in the top 6 or whatever whatever they decide this year group? What do you win if you to win Positively Unstoppable Challenge?
Well, you get a trip down to Atlanta. You get a workout with Dallas, and go to the Christmas party, which is awesome. But then you also there's a drawing, and I think this year the grand prize is $250,000, and you pick a book, and you pick from a bookcase, and you pick the right book, and you win the grand prize. You know, as far as the actual, like, you know, I think the top place getter gets, I think it's 25 guaranteed, and I can't remember what the others get.
Step down.
But yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
And
But,
only only the winner gets to draw a chance at the draw at the
correct. Only the top place getter gets to draw the book.
Now, did you have they shown your drawing yet? Have they released that video of you doing the
not
drawing?
yet.
So
Not
so
yet, no.
so you're not supposed to tell people who won or who hadn't. If you won,
No,
the
they
million,
already announced who's won.
But
That's already out.
have they announced whether you're a millionaire or a?
No. Well, that's something I don't talk about anyway. I wouldn't tell anybody if I did.
All right.
That's all I can say is that my kid had a fun Christmas, we had a good Christmas, and my wedding is paid for. That's the most I'll tell anybody. Anything else, that's about all there is to it. There's some things even I won't discuss.
Well, that's good. That's good. And I know that Maria can beat you in golf.
Well, she did help me learn how to drive a golf ball, so I can't get bent out of shape about that. Steve, you and Jeremy Landry will probably get a little bit grumpy about it, but it's all good.
From the Top Golf.
Dude, Top Golf. Dude, there's actually a game on the Oculus, a golf game on the Oculus that I bought specifically because they have a Top Golf option on there.
Really?
So, yeah.
So you've got an Oculus?
Yeah, my father-in-law bought each of his kids' household an Oculus for
And
Christmas.
so that's the
VR headset.
VR headset. How is it?
I like it. I think it's really, really fun. It's very immersive.
Do you get
You know,
nauseous?
I did once. With one game, I got nauseous. I played Resident Evil 4, and I got really, really nauseous. But I've been fine ever since.
So do all games come VR equipped for the Oculus, or do you have to get certain?
If it's on the Oculus, then it's equipped for the Oculus. Like all the games that are on there are specifically for that.
So they actually come on the headset.
Well, you got to buy them. You buy them as you go. It's kind of like, think of it like buying games for your phone. It's just that, it's not just mobile games. It's all other kinds of stuff too. Like they even got a Walking Dead game on there that I can't wait to try.
So what's the gun? What do you shoot? I guess they've got a little
the little hand the hand trigger things, you can use those as guns. They also have an actual gun thing as well, but I mean it's not really necessary because part of the regular controller's configuration has a trigger on it.
How much are the Oculus?
It depends. There's one version that's $300. There's another one that's $400.
So it's like buying a game like an Xbox or.
It's cheaper than an Xbox. Both of them are cheaper than an Xbox. But yeah. It's like buying another system.
Yeah.
But it's pretty sweet. I love it. I like it. I mean, I don't have a ton of time to play it because I got so many other things going on. But
So can you watch
I'm able to take the
movies
time.
and things like that?
Yep, you can watch Netflix on it. You can watch stuff on it.
Is it more
But
immersive?
it's kind of like watching it in a movie theater, which is like, you know what? I can just watch it on my TV. It's cool. I'm fine.
I've always heard people talk about porn videos on those things. Do they get porn?
I ain't seen.
You ain't confessing.
Hey, if I did, I'd tell you, but I ain't experienced it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I ain't really searching it neither. I ain't really searching for it either. It ain't that big of a deal to me.
They say that
on that thing.
That
It'd probably be like watching
drive,
it at a movie theater.
Drives some of the tech industry.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
industry.
Sex sells.
Yeah.
Sex is the oldest profession on planet Earth. And when so many other professions are gone, it'll still be there.
Yeah.
And
You ever
you
seen
know
the
what?
George?
And
You ever seen
Huh?
the George Carlin kind of take on that? It's pretty funny.
I've heard it. Yeah, dude. George Carlin. Like, a matter of fact, some nights I sleep to his audiobook, and it just puts me so at ease. But I mean, hey, you know what? That's cool. It's cool too. Look, everybody makes their living one way or another. Ain't nobody to judge it.
Yeah, that's right.
Do what you do. As long as what you do don't cause anybody else any hurt, harm, or danger, I say do it.
All right, man. I think I'm running out of questions. Let me look at my notes, see if there's anything I want to touch on. Is there anything you want to talk about that I hadn't touched on?
No, I think we touched on an awful lot.
Tell us about your podcast. You said you got 2 podcasts. One of them was the movies, and the other one was a sports show.
Film review podcast. That's the Plotaholics podcast. You can go to plotaholics.com or anywhere that you find podcasts. Just search the Plotaholics. We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Plotaholics, where we're uploading some of our old episodes in the video format on there, but we also have other content as well that's exclusive to YouTube. I do a TV show review series on there called Tann Talks. My co-host Shane Wilson has his things on there as well, including Shane Wilson's drunk reviews, which are absolutely hilarious. I also do a sports talk podcast called the Tandemonium Sports Show, just part of the Vendetta Sports Media podcasting network. You can find that on vendettasportsmedia.com. The Tann Talks airs live every Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/Vendetta Sports Media.
All right. How long's your sports show?
About an hour and a half. We talk, some the big stories that are out at this point. Tomorrow we'll be talking the championship, the conference championship games, and anything and everything else.
Is Brady retiring?
That's what some of the news reports are saying, but nothing has come out officially out of Tampa Bay. So somebody either jumped the gun or it's just wishful thinking. We'll see.
When he went and won a Super Bowl his first year at Tampa Bay, I think he cemented his degree or his resume as the GOAT when he did that.
I try not to be a hater, but you know what? I appreciate what he's done, and I leave it at that. I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, but it is what it is. Yeah. It's cool though. You know what? You can't deny what the man has done, and you just can't.
I think my cousin told me he's got more NFL Super Bowl rings than any franchise.
Yeah, sounds about right. Sounds about right.
That's pretty funny.
He needs to just retire and be done. I've had enough of him.
Yeah, you had enough of Brady.
I've had enough of Tom Brady.
You know all those other guys that picked all those coaches that picked 198 times ahead of him are pissed off.
Oh, I'm definitely glaring at Kevin Colbert, the Steelers GM. I'm definitely glaring at him a lot, a whole lot. It's like, man, you could have had Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Said y'all went with Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox. Well, they got close. They had the Tom part right.
Yeah, they were close. Close but far.
That's funny.
It's all good though. All
right, man. I think that's it. Let's see. Okay, if someone wants to follow you on social media or other digital, where would they follow you? Where do they find you?
You can find me at Bryan Tann Author on Facebook and Twitter, and at Author Bryan Tann on Instagram. You can follow the Tandemonium Sports Show on Twitter at Tandemonium VSM. V is in Victor, S is in Sam, M is in Mike. Or you can follow the Plotaholics podcast at Plotaholics on Twitter. Search the Plotaholics podcast on Facebook, and find us on our YouTube channel, the Plotaholics. And
right.
for Vendetta, and you can find me on Vendetta Sports Media. You can go to the website vendettasportsmedia.com.
And when's the wedding scheduled right now?
April 23rd.
April
Fingers
23rd.
crossed.
All right.
April 23rd. Fingers crossed.
As long as there's not any new variants out there, huh?
Yeah, seriously. As long as we don't have like the Super Supreme Super Soaker variant.
All right. If someone's going to start the John Baker Chronicles, where do they find and what is book one?
Book one is titled Invincible Heart. You go to randomevolved.store. You can go to Amazon, but I prefer you go to the publisher's website. randomevolved.store.
And I think you said you're getting your MBA at Western Governors
University.
Governors
Yep.
University. And how much longer you got on that?
Once I finish this one class, I only have 3 more classes to do, and then I'm done. So, plan to be done by this year.
So do you have to write a thesis?
Not so much a thesis. We have a thing called a capstone where we basically have to basically encompass everything that we've learned. But I'm still stuck in this financial management class, which I can't even think about those other classes until I get through this one.
So the for some reason I was thinking you might have had somewhat of accounting background.
I hate
Is
numbers.
that why you struggle? Okay, maybe I got you mixed
I
up.
hate numbers. I'm only taking this class because I want the MBA in business, because a business degree is general enough, but it can take you everywhere.
Yeah. So the I forget what I was talking to you about before that. Shit, I done forgot it. You know, it's hell getting old, man. All right, man. What's for dinner tonight?
I don't know. I'm going to go downstairs and see, but I know I'm about ready to eat. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I know I'm ready to chow down. So, I don't know. I'll see what's what. I think my mama brought me something.
All right.
Because I think she brought me something because, you know, she appreciated me breaking up the ice in her driveway. So I think mama brought me something. So I gotta see what mama brought.
What's the weather up there in Pittsburgh? Are y'all getting
Cold.
getting that cold?
It cold.
Getting that, y'all getting that northerner up there?
No, we didn't get the snow, thank goodness. But I'm sitting here under a 40-pound weighted blanket with a heater blowing at my feet, and I'm still shivering. It's cold. It is cold here in Pittsburgh.
For the frozen tundra.
Well, what's funny is that we just bought this house. Next winter, it's going to be a much better situation, I think, because I'm going to be making a lot of changes around this house. So,
All right, man. Well, what's your final word? Your exit wisdom here.
you're worth it.
Maybe that's
You're
your
worth
shirts right there. You're worth it. Maybe that's your shirt.
Yeah, I think so, man. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, when you're fighting with your weight all your life, and you know you're going into this, and you feel like you've lost hope, you don't feel like you feel like you're nothing. You feel like you're worthless. It's like, no, you're worth it. You're worth the fight. You're worth every bit of positivity, every single last bit of it. So don't get down on yourself. Love yourself, because you're worth it.
All right, Bryan. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to let me interview you and pick your brain, and congratulate you on being the 2021 Positively Unstoppable Grand Champion, and what you've done.
Thank you.
And shit, I still remember you doing them damn handstand push-ups. You were posting handstand push-ups.
Man, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, those are the. My shoulders didn't like those. I haven't done those in a while because my shoulders don't like them. I might have to see how it works again. Man,
I'm just impressed you ever did them at all. That's crazy. But yeah, man, just keep kicking ass and keep inspiring others. Keep doing what you're doing, and I wish you luck. And I support you 100% on trying to help other communities and taking what DDP has given us and passing it on.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thanks for being one of my inspirations. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you doing what you do.
Shoot, man. Thank you. And hopefully I'll see you again at the Christmas party.
Hey, that'd be great, man. That'd be awesome. Can't wait.
All right, bro.
I gotta get a fly suit like you had.
That's right. Yeah, you got to go all in on the Christmas suit.
That's true. That's very
Hell,
true.
I might ought to give you. They sent me 2, and one of them was too small for me. One of them
I'll take
probably
it off your
fits
hands if you ain't- Hey, if you ain't doing nothing with it, I'll take it off your hands.
I may
We can be twins next year.
Send it
We
to
can be twins next year.
I got to
All
get back down to 220, what I was 220, 230 or something. But this one I couldn't get in. I don't know. Well, I may have a suit for you. I never did send it back. So.
Yeah, I'll take it off your hands if you ain't doing nothing with it.
All right,
We'll be
man.
twins next year.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we'll do it.
All right, Brian. Have a good evening.
All right, man. You too. Take care now.
All right, see you. Thank you for listening to the podcast today. I'm your host, Vance Hines of Transform with Vance, where transformations begin every day. Please take a moment, if you will, if you like the podcast, to subscribe and follow, and you can find us on social media as well, either under Vance Hines or Transform with Vance. Please tune in and subscribe to our feed. You'll be able to hear lots of transformation stories. I'm in search of interviewing as many transformations as I can find. So if you have a transformation that you would like to have someone interview and have and appear on the podcast, just send me the name and number, message me, and I'll reach out to them and try to get them here. But no matter what, a better life begins on the mat. Get on the mat and start your transformation today. Thank you.